Yo, yo. What's up, guys? Thank you for tuning in. It's your boy TCS Rilo from the Cooking Show 262.0. You can find us on Facebook, YouTube. We're branching off into caffeine. About to start something on Clubhouse. That's gonna be real fun. That's gonna be you want my personal opinions and my humor. I'll do it there because then I can actually share it with them, the people, right? But yeah, anyway, as you can see from the captions here, that Alec Baldwin is going to be charged with manslaughter in Santa Fe, New Mexico, in connection with the film Rust that I think he was producing, um, in which a lady named Helena Hutchins. I'm sorry if I'm not pronouncing that right, but she was shot with a 45 caliber Colt style pistol, Billy Western joint. The Western guns. So, um, obviously not all guns on these movie sets are props. Most of them are active firearms. They just use blanks and stuff like that. Um, Baldwin fired a 45 caliber Western style gun that claimed the life of Helena Hutchins, the cinematographer, and more of her family also were working on the set. And her father, I forgot his name, um, but I guess he's like legendary in the film business. And I know that the family is happy. There was a quote somewhere I read where they said that it's good to see that no one is above the law in Santa Fe, New Mexico. So, I hope that for the family, they're getting closure. I know this is a horrible mistake. I don't think that Alec Baldwin did this on purpose at all. I don't think any of us do. But here's the thing: the district attorney states that a review of the evidence in the case shows a clear pattern of disregard for safety. So these films, I'm not sure if this is an independent film or if this was a big Hollywood film. I should have done my research on that, but um, and then I'm also not sure if the rules differ because when you're an actor, you have to be part of an actors union. Same thing as when you're a recording artist, you're part of the recording artists union. And when you're dealing with any union, obviously you're dealing with, you know, um, they're very, very big on safety and very big on accidents not happening on site. Really, really big on that. So there's always somebody that comes around, which they call a bird dog, who is a safety guy who inspects everything, even your person. He's checking to see if you have your PPE on, your personal protective equipment. This could be safety glasses. This could be water jugs that need to be on site, hand washing basins. You get it. Urinals, all that stuff. You know, harnesses, whatever is needed as far as safety, this guy's going to be checking. So what happened is, like I said, he went and fired the gun. Now, what's going to happen is the three people are going to be charged in this, and this is Alec Baldwin. Well, David Halls was already charged with this, and he took a plea for negligent handling of a deadly weapon. And Hannah Gutierrez Reed is someone else that is charged as well. She has the same charges as Alec, which is manslaughter. Now, I guess that they're going to go down the line and say that the person's responsible. There was the Helene, excuse me, the Hannah Gutierrez Reed was the armorer. So, or armor, she was the person that armed the weapons. I would imagine that after the person that arms the weapons does it, that someone else would come through and maybe give it a little bit of fine print. But I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the article that I found here. All right. And I'm going to go ahead and read it for you. So, Alec Baldwin and armorer will be charged with involuntary manslaughter after fatal shooting of Helena Hutchins on the set of Rust. There's also a little video here I'll play here for you. Okay, actor Alec Baldwin, who fatally shot a cinematographer on the set of the Western movie Rust in 2021, and the film's armorer, Hannah Gutierrez Reed, will each be charged with 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter, prosecutors said Thursday. The family of Helena Hutchins, who was the film's director of photography, thanked prosecutors for their decision. It is a comfort to the family that in New Mexico no one is above the law, that family said in a statement released by attorney Brian J. Panish. Sorry if I'm not saying that right. Baldwin has maintained he was not aware the gun he fired during a rehearsal contained a live round. His attorney called the prosecutor's decision a terrible miscarriage of justice. What do you guys think about that? A terrible miscarriage of justice for him to be charged with this. The decisions distort Helena Hutchins' tragic death and represents a terrible miscarriage of justice. Mr. Baldwin had no reason to believe there was a live bullet in the gun or anywhere on the movie set, attorney Luke Nika said. He relied on the professionals with whom he worked, who assured him the gun did not have live rounds. We will fight these charges and we will win. That's a bold guy. It's a good attorney right there. I like him. An attorney for Gutierrez Reed said she believes jurors will find his client not guilty. So, they're obviously going to trial. We were expecting the charges, but they're absolutely wrong as to Hannah. We expect that she will be found not guilty by a jury and she did not commit manslaughter, attorney Jason Bowles said in a statement Thursday. She has been emotional about the tragedy, but has committed no crime. Why 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter? Well, Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed each face 2 counts of involuntary manslaughter so that a jury can decide which specific count may be more appropriate. New Mexico First Judicial District Attorney Mary Carmack Altwee said, if convicted, they will only be sentenced to 1 count. The prosecutor said, in either case, a conviction is punishable by 18 months in jail and up to a $5,000 fine, prosecutors said. But 1 count would involve a firearm enhancement or added mandatory penalty because a firearm was involved. In that case, the crime could be punishable by a mandatory 5 years in prison, prosecutors said. Charges against Baldwin and Gutierrez Reed will be formally filed by the end of this month. Carmack Altwee said she will not be asking for the defendants to be arrested at that time, the prosecutor said. Baldwin and his legal team feel blindsided by the announcement, Nika said, his attorney. They were not given any indication Baldwin would face criminal charges and learned of the charges in the media, he added. Damn. Carmack Altwee told CNN her office was in almost constant contact with the opposing parties' attorneys for about the last 6 weeks. They didn't know exactly what was coming, but they were aware that we were contemplating charges, and they were aware of what the contemplated charges were, she said. Baldwin has responsibility as a producer, DA says. The district attorney said she believed Rust had a really fast and loose set, saying there was a lack of safety standards and live rounds on set. They were mixed in with regular dummy rounds. Nobody was checking those, or at least they weren't checking them consistently, Carmack Altwee said. And then they somehow got loaded into a gun, handed off to Alec Baldwin. He didn't check it. He didn't do any of the things that he was supposed to do to make sure that he was safe or that anyone around him was safe. And then he pointed the gun at Helena Hutchins and bang. Baldwin is also a producer for Rust and therefore had additional responsibilities, the district attorney said. As a producer, he also had a duty to make sure that the set was safe, Carmack Altwee said. And then as an actor that day, he should have checked the gun, checked those projectiles. What investigators have revealed, Hutchins was struck and killed by a live round of ammunition fired from a prop gun being held by Baldwin, who maintains he did not pull the gun's trigger. That's a lie, by the way. Director Joel Souza, who was also shot and injured. No charges will be filed against Souza in relation to the shooting. In the summary of the postmortem investigation into Hutchins' death, which was formally signed by the New Mexico chief medical investigator, the cause of death is listed as gunshot wound of chest, and the manner of death is listed as an accident. Review of available law enforcement reports showed no compelling demonstrations that the firearm was intentionally loaded with live ammunition on set. Based on all available information, including the absence of obvious intent to cause harm or death, the manner of death is best classified as accident, the report concluded. An FBI forensics report said the weapon could not be fired during FBI testing of its normal functioning without pulling the trigger while the gun was cocked. The report also noted that the gun eventually malfunctioned during testing after internal parts fractured, which caused the gun to go off in the cock position without pulling the trigger. I gotta think about that one for a minute. In an interview with CNN in August, Baldwin placed responsibility for the tragedy on Gutierrez Reed, who served as the armorer and props assistant on the film, and assistant director Dave Halls, who handed him the gun. Hall signed a plea agreement for the charge of negligent use of a deadly weapon, the district attorney's office announced in its statement Thursday. Prosecutors said the term of that deal includes 6 months of probation and a suspended sentence. On Thursday, Hall's attorney, Lisa Taracho, released a statement in defense of her client. Absent no charges at all, this is the best outcome for Mr. Halls and the case, Taracho said. He can now put this matter behind him and allow the focus of his tragedy to be on the shooting victims and changing the industry so this type of accident will never happen again. Multiple lawsuits filed, of course. In November, Baldwin filed suit against Gutierrez Reed and Halls and others associated with the film. They probably cross complaint by CNN. They probably countersued through their respective attorneys. Both Gutierrez, Reed, and Halls maintained they were not at fault and accused Baldwin of deflecting blame onto others. He kind of is. Gutierrez Reed also sued the movie's gun and ammunition supplier and its founder, who denied wrongdoing and alleged that a cache of dummy ammunition was sold with live rounds mixed in. In October, Hutchins' family released an undisclosed settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit filed against Baldwin and others, or reached an undisclosed settlement in a wrongful death lawsuit filed against Baldwin and others involved in producing the film. Matthew Hutchins, widower of Helena Hutchins, described her death as a terrible accident. In a statement at the time of the settlement, production on Rust was to resume this month, with Matthew Hutchins joining as an executive producer on the film as part of the agreement. Okay. All right, you guys want to go ahead and check out the old
shot in the stomach, requesting air flight.
I'm not in charge of the investigation. I'm in charge of securing the scene, so I need to know who saw it.
I pull it out slow, turn, cock the pistol, bang, it goes up and she hits the ground.
Not afford one or otherwise obtain one. If you decide to answer any questions now with or without a lawyer, you have the right to stop questioning at any time or to stop.
32, I got just identified medics.
If I'm standing there in a rehearsal, I'm thinking to myself, could someone actually believe that in the rehearsal I would actually aim the gun and hit those two people? That's far-fetched.
Everybody here in the SAC, we're getting these guys treated, we're securing the scene, and then we'll get with you guys in a sec.
All right, man. Yo, so that's enough of them. All right, let's get back to the whole video here at hand. We're already 14 minutes in. So what we got to look at here, I got some charge details. So manslaughter, which is not what they're charged with, okay, is a negligent killing with no intent involved. That's pretty cut and dry. All right. That's pretty cut and dry. So that is a negligent killing with no intent involved. Now, involuntary manslaughter consists of manslaughter committed in the commission of an unlawful act and not amounting to a felony, or in the commission of a lawful act that might produce death in an unlawful manner or without due caution and circumspection. So basically, manslaughter is having no intent, but the involuntary manslaughter, um, is basically, in a nutshell, breaking it all the way down, is just the act of carelessness. There was numerous finger pointing in this situation, a huge lack of accountability. You see the Gutierrez Reed lady even went as far as to file a suit against the ammunition supplier. Now, if that ammunition supplier did um, supply them a box of dummy rounds with real rounds mixed in, I mean, I would think, this is my opinion. I would think that they would contingency plan all the way down that row there, that they would buy from a reputable dealer, and that once those rounds get there, that they're checked, right? You measure twice and cut once, that they're checked. And then they're double checked by the armorer, right? And then once the guns are loaded and they're ready, I would think that the bird dog, the safety guy, would come back around, double check them. An actor such as Alec Baldwin, with his experience, I believe would absolutely, him being around when the crow thing happened. I'm not sure if any of you remember Brandon Lee, Bruce Lee's son. He was killed on set in the same manner, the same manner. Um, and Alec Baldwin was around. I remember that. Alec Baldwin's a lot older than me, but there's no way. I mean, if you try to hand me a gun, I'm not grabbing it anyways. I don't, you got a gun, cool. Can't tell you how many people are always like, "Yo, look, bro." It's like, man, dude, bro. I used to be a gun enthusiast in a former life, man. It really ain't shit I haven't seen. So great, you know what I mean? But I mean, they're cool. They're nice gadgets to own if that's your hobby and stuff like that. But look what can happen. And this is just a freak accident, man. But it could have actually been prevented had just had people just gone that extra mile, man. Just that extra mile to ensure the safety of somebody else's life. I'm not gonna point an unloaded gun at you, much less if I'm on a movie scene. If I'm on a movie scene, right, with my lack of experience, and you're like, "Yo, right, you're gonna be shooting him. Here's the gun." Me first, yo, what kind of gun is okay? 1911 is nice. Pull the clip out, check the rounds. Hey, boss, this looks like a ball round right here. I don't know how these dummies look, but yo, check that out. Yo, good eye. Yeah, that's a live round. Boom. And that's how you catch it. Now he caught it, but now here's what's gonna happen. What they have to prove is that there was a breach of duty for no one to check the gun. Right. So there's a set on duty, and that there's laws in place and rules in place on set that you do not point a gun at someone. Right. So if they can determine that he breached that standard, he's definitely going to get found guilty. And I think we've all just determined that he breached that standard. He definitely breached that standard. You got the FBI forensics report. Now, I don't know. I tend to read fast, and I'm sorry. But I try to go quick with these videos here. But I'm gonna go ahead and read that one more time for you because it just sounds weird. An FBI forensics report said the weapon could not be fired during testing of its normal functioning without pulling the trigger while the gun was cocked. The report also noted the gun eventually malfunctioned during testing after internal parts fractured, which caused the gun to go off into the cocked position without pulling the trigger, with allowing the gun to go off in the cocked position without pulling the trigger. Man, I don't know. I smell a rat here, man. I'm gonna just say that, and I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, I know. I gotta quit. I'm gonna tell you why. Because for one, the gun that they were using was a 45 old Colt. Like I said, the Western model. The Doc Holliday joints where they were spinning them on their hands, Remember how they would spin them guns? Boom, they'd be spinning them joints. They didn't misfire. Right? So the hammer has to be cocked back. If you know a revolver, right? There's no safety on a revolver except for a half cock. Then the gun wouldn't fire if it was half cocked, right? But when that hammer goes back, that trigger goes in, back towards the wall, and it's a hair trigger. It's really easy for that thing to go off. Now, I've seen clips. If you go to the Washington Post, they have numerous clips of this movie and of Alec Baldwin playing with the gun, just trying to get it down, how he was going to pull it out of his jacket. And every time he pulled it out of his jacket, he had the finger on the trigger. That's not how you would be doing that if you're just practicing. You're not, pull your gun out with your finger on the trigger right away. You know what I'm saying? You pull your gun out, hold it, see what's going on, point that motherfucker, you know what I'm saying? Maybe bow, put one in the air and do your thing with it. But you don't pull it out. That's how you shoot your nuts off. You know what I mean? I wish it would have been a situation like that. I'm not to wish harm on anybody, but let's say he pulled it out and it banged his toe off. That would have been a lot better than somebody losing their life. But I mean, you can blame whoever you want, dude. I'm gonna tell you like this. Remember that old saying in school when you would fart or something, and they would be like, "Yo, whoever smelt it dealt it." This is that situation, man. I'm gonna bring you back to kindergarten, bro. Whoever smelt it dealt it. They gave you the gun. You were last man in charge, right? So you can say you got the people that are blaming the munitions company. Yep, okay. So they might have sent some live rounds in with some dummy rounds. Then you got Alec Baldwin blaming the armorer right away. Oh, it was her fault. She loaded the gun, right? And then it's not my fault. It's everybody else on the set. They said that this set was very negligent. That this set was. That's why I'm saying is our independent. Is this an independent film? And our independent films non-union? Do they not have the same safety requirements? As a union film would be. I don't know. I don't know if independent films are like working non-union. So, but definitely, I mean, this is a absolute a absolute yeah, I don't think it's a miscarriage of justice as far as them being charged. Somebody has to hold some kind of accountability. This is filmmaking with professionals. You can look at Alec Baldwin's catalog, and I mean that thing's it's longer than a seal penis, man. um Walrus penis, actually. They have the largest in the animal kingdom. I don't know why I know that. But yeah, I mean, he's got a huge, filmography or discography, whatever they call that in Wikipedia. He's been in tons of movies since he was a shorty. I mean, dude, you know the rules. You know the rules, especially being around after the Brandon Lee situation. I remember that when that happened during the filming of Crow, and that was a big thing. That was Bruce Lee's legacy right there. That was his son. His son was shot and succumb to his wounds in the same manner. You're gonna have to watch what I say. I'm not trying to, hit you guys with the thesaurus lingo. I can't say certain words. But tragic incident. My condolences to the family. Alec Baldwin, buddy, you got to take this one on the chin. They're talking 18 months. Um, you know, and a $5,000 fine. I don't know why you're going to take it to trial, man. I would go ahead and just take some kind of plea. I would think that in this situation, um, taking it to trial is kind of disrespect to the family, because in the grand scheme of things and what we like to stick to is the actual factuals. My guy, you were the last one with the gun. You fired the round. You took that life. My opinion, or is it fact? It's all fact. He was handed the gun. He did not check the gun. He fired the round. Somebody lost their life. That's what we call around here the actual factuals. Um, I don't know what time it is. I know this one stretched on. Look at that. It's 3:30 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. You see how much I love you guys. And I'm up trying to hit you with this content. I'm always trying to be ahead of the game. You see, I've been ahead of Complex lately. I've been ahead of multiple news sites. And I'm getting the hang of this thing. I'm in this studio night and day, but I'm really getting the hang of, where to find the sources at and where to go to get the information first. And we're just small, so I need a following. I need to grow. We need to grow. We need to grow. So please subscribe, like, turn on your notifications so that you get a notification when we go live or when we drop a video. Keep up with the new content. The show's going to keep growing and growing. We're about to get into these interviews. I just wanted to get um, I wanted to get kind of booked up for the interviews. Right now, we only got about 4. I want to spread them out. I want to get about 3 or 4 more in there. That way we can hit you with, at least one a week. And that'd be some good content. But we are going to go ahead and change the entire method around here and get to kicking it and really cracking off. But we just wanted to get the page started, get some content out there for you guys to enjoy and to know that we're here for you. Like I always say, we're trying to create a social network within a social network. So each one of our viewers, you all have the option, how I'm reporting the news now, for me to tag you in if you like. All you have to do is inbox me and say, yo, if you got an idea for a video, hey man, I think you should do a video on this. And yo, I love it if you tag me in so you can get my opinion. We can absolutely do that. Every one of our viewers, every one of our supporters, everybody that follows us on the page can be a guest on the show. There's no cost, nothing like that. Just holler at us. If you got any ideas for content, if you see anything cool out there, something you think you needs to be spoken on, you go ahead and give it to us and we'll be the voice. We are the voice of the people. We are the Cooking Show 262.0. I am Rilo, TCS Rilo to be exact. Don't forget the TCS. Them 3 letters mean a lot. And it's 3:30 something in the morning. My girl's probably laying in the bed, slobbering on my pillow. The dog's definitely on my side of the bed. So I got to go fight my way for, like I'm in a joint. I got to go fight for a place to sleep. Yo, it's late, man. I'm jet lagged or whatever, but I love you guys. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sorry it was so long, but I got you the news pretty early, man. I think I was there before People Magazine and anybody. Yeah, I was there before People Magazine, and I was there before Complex about the Carol Baskins thing. And yes, her husband is alive. He's in Costa Rica, thriving, living. He does not want to be seen. Somebody said, I want to see him. Lady, he's been hiding for 30 years. You think he don't want his fucking wife and his kids to see him? You think he wants you to see him? Get out of here. All right, man. I love y'all. TCS Rilo Cooking Show 262.0. Don't forget I'm out, baby. Whoa.